Good evening. It's Monday evening at 7 o'clock, and we're here once more for mental mind treatments. Kayla says, as always, sending blessings and much love to all. And I already have, as she texted me earlier, what she would like a mental mind treatment on. So before we begin, I want to say I've been watching a lot of Olympics, and so I was outside in the beautiful warm reading my book, and then I said, "Oh, I feel a little tired," so I came in to have a nap. Luckily, my son phoned because I might have still been sleeping. I went right out, but anyway, it's been an enjoyable time watching the sports and there's some to me, I talked about discipline on a Sunday thought, because you cannot create and do the things that you want to do without discipline. I learned discipline very early in my life through sports in particular, and some other things as well, and having to go to work at 15, and you get used to your discipline of getting up, catching bus, going to work, catching the bus home, etc. Discipline is very much a part of our lives, and not everybody learns that, but man, those athletics, I tell you, the athletes, I should say, the athletes, some of them are just absolutely amazing. Anyhow, tonight we're here for mental mind treatments, which is to aid and help those that need. So for Kayla, because I have her fiction, and I'm welcoming Julie as well. I'll read, I've got a couple, and then I'll read Julie's. And by the way, if I miss anybody, please write it in. Let me know, because it's, as I said last week, I really need new glasses with a little stronger, because sometimes it's hard for me to read the small print in here. Okay, with Kayla, I've got to become clear on hearing her soul message or messages, and all the while increasing her energy. So we've got 3, 17, and 6. There is no doubt that Kayla has a lot of love, not only for humanity, but for people in particular, and for herself. And there's a balance with that. There's a balance of how much do we utilize for ourselves and how much do we use for others. It's when we get them confused, when we think we're here to just give out and give out and give out. So when I do the treatment I think we're looking at really becoming clear in hearing the soul's message, is that quiet place that one goes to, the quietness of being. So the treatment will go something like this. It's not interested, something like this. Well, we'll see. There is one power and one essence, and I speak my word for Kayla. As I speak my word for Kayla, I know that when I am in my heart for myself, when I align with all the energies that are there, that I'm able to hear the soul's message, even if it is a whisper. It is a thought that flows across the mental element. And sometimes it's just a matter of accepting the willingness to be at center stage, to allow the information to come in with ease, with grace, with a knowingness. And I feel very soft and very gentle. And it just feels like a gentleness with self at the moment, that to be gentle, to realize that the information is always there, but it's to be gentle with self, to be quiet with self, and allow self just to be. I give thanks in knowing that there is love and light and essence here. I give thanks in knowing that the ability to balance the energy to make self number one right now, so that the messages can become a little louder, a little clearer, and a little more, I was going to say worthwhile, because it's about putting things in every which shape or form. And I give thanks for this as I release this, knowing it is true and it is done. The soul will speak a little louder, and Kayla will be listening. And so it is. Amen. When I speak my word for alien, Angeline, and I've got expansion of Xena, and that's her property. I know that. And I was given two numbers of the three, which was 3, 8, and I added 12. In the 3 and the 8 is love, again, for what you have and being able to balance things. But I've written it so there's a little bit of a hole in the 8, which often happens, meaning energy gets lost. So it's and the 12 is the expansion, is about acceptance. I just feel there's energy given or put into places that may not be necessary, or maybe there's worry or feeling that this should happen or that should happen, and it's about acceptance of that there is a design. I see a design here for the expansion. I see the maybe patience that is needed for the understanding of the direction, and the direction may be changing a little. So there are some things, yes, that we're going in, but in the treatment we'll see. As I move into treatment for Angeline Xena, I know there is one power and there is one force in this life that loves and is there to aid and help and bring forward whatever it is that you are wanting and desiring. I also know that the balancing of everything that goes on with management, with creation, with expanding, I feel like I've got I need 20 hands instead of 20 fingers. I need 20 hands. And it's about allowing the prerogative of time and space. What is the most important at this moment? What is the next most important? What is the third most important? I think there is a little bit more organization, and you probably cringe at hearing that, but a little bit more organization, not in organizing, but in just knowing we can do that later. Time is an interesting thing, and if we try to hurry time very often, what will happen? Things won't happen. And that's maybe why the 8, which is balancing everything, is drawn the way I drew it. I trust a lot in that, by the way. Over the years, I've learned that. I see the creation. I see the ease. I see the awareness. So I am going to treat at this moment for the acceptance of the unfoldment gently. I know there is one power and there is one essence that is available for all, and therefore it's available for Angeline also in her expansion project. The expansion will occur naturally and easily if one allows the natural formula of time and space. I really feel the acceptance of that is what's the key. In other words, if you want to expand something that isn't quite ready or it doesn't fit into the time slot, whatever that is, then there is issues. And so it is the unfoldment, the allowingness, the breathing of it. There is a relaxing which makes everything come together in time and space. And as everything comes together in time and space, then there is ease and the acceptance of the end result being exactly as it needs to be. And so I give thanks for this. I give thanks for the expansion. I give thanks for the knowingness that it will be exactly as it needs to be. Maybe not how you foresee it, but as it needs to be. So I noticed those words, needs to be, very strong, came through. So it's an interesting time period. And it's like allowing things to manifest and to be the way that they want to be. I give thanks in the knowing of this as I release this, knowing that it is done and the expansion of Xena will occur. And so it is. I also am just going to speak my word for Dan to know his own worth and to become stronger. And the numbers I have down here, the 17, which is again about balance. That was in Kayla's as well. 1712 also I had because it was in Angeline's acceptance, and 5, which gets using it's confusion often. It's confusing. So it's knowing that. So I'm just going to move into treatment of knowing that there is one power and there's one essence available to us if we choose to use it. It's available in knowing the balance of self, of energy. Where do we put our energy? What do we want to really create? If we're looking for our worth, if we're looking for our ability to resolve issues that we're not happy with, the acceptance of the issue as it is the key. Very often we want an issue to change, but the issue is not going to change as it is. The issue may change, but it's not going to change when we hold and think and feel and be the way we are. And so there is a sense of allowing the knowledge to come forward, the knowledge and the awareness of all that there is. For there is strength and purpose in the direction of where you're heading. So it allows you to let go of the confusion and the, I'm going to call it unworthiness, to have it any different. I give thanks in knowing there's strength here. I give thanks in knowing that there is a glimmer on the horizon of change. And I give thanks in knowing that all will be well. And I release this thought, knowing it is true, that it is done, and it is as one. Okay, now, hi, Julie. Nice to see you here. Hi, Norma. I seem to be going through a shift or need to, and it has been difficult. It is 5/11/19. Shifts are difficult sometimes. So what we want is a an accept. It's either we either need an acceptance of the shift or a resolution from the shift. I'm not sure yet what exactly you want there, but we'll look at the numbers. 5. When we get confused, when we lose sight of a goal, we often don't know which way to go, and we don't reinforce the goal, or we don't reinforce the knowledge or the awareness of where we're heading and where we're going. It's like we come to a standstill. But the reality is, in the acceptance that we're at a standstill, is we leave behind that which we're stuck, where we're stuck. It's like, in a way, we turn our backs on where we're stuck, because obviously it's not working, whatever it is we're stuck on. And as we let go the stuckness, we're able to emerge into newness, into an awareness. If you, I know Julie knows tarot, so I want you to put out the Hierophant, the Justice, yeah, number 11, and number 19, the Sun. This is about moving away from the old, not recreating which has been made before. This is about knowing that you have answers that you can utilize and bring forward as you move forward into newness and growth and progress. So as we move into treatment, we ask for those things to come forward in strength. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know that as I speak my word for Julie, that Julie has a lot of knowledge and a lot of awareness, and that it is time to not be stuck in a cycle of this is the way it is. It is a time to move forward with strength, with love, with understanding, into a newness, into seeing green fields, opening and listening for information or fact that maybe has not ever been heard exactly that way before, by moving into an acknowledgement of the energy that is there. It is to draw upon and to pull upon a strength that supports you moving into newness, moving into a different awareness. I just feel that this is an old repeated pattern that you have done many, many times, falling back into old habits, basically. And it's time to let that go. It's time to make different decisions, different awarenesses, different perceptions. Remember, number 11 is the higher value of the 2, where we not only make the decision, we make the commitment. So now is the time for you to commit to the new, to say, this is the way I'm going. Maybe a way you've never been before. but it's there because it's commitment time. It is a time of letting the past habits. This is the second time I've used that word tonight, so maybe that's where we're heading, letting habits go, because there's a lot of change going on in the world out there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So it's the moving forward in the direction of where you want to go. You have strength, you have knowledge, you have awareness, and you have guidance. You know how to read tarot for yourself. Use it. See where you're getting hung up on things, where you're getting stuck. I know that within the process of being, that the energy of the universe supports you forward. The energy of the universe never ever supports stuckness. It supports movement. It supports growth. That means you need to decide what you want and where you want to go, and allow the newness to take you there. Try a different behavior, try a different way of thinking, try a different element. And I'm going to talk about thinking a little bit further on, so we shall come back to that. In the meantime, I give thanks for the knowledge. I give thanks as I release this for Julie, knowing that all is well and will be well as she moves forward and decides for herself, but through action, I forgot to mention that, through action, to create the newness that she truly desires. And so I say thank you as I release this, knowing it is true and it is done. And so it is. Karen Lee, I would love a treatment for being a new Nana. Oh, wow. Hang on, I got to write this down, you know. My granddaughter, Nora, well, that's close to my name, isn't it? Nora Lynn was born this morning. Thanks. 15, 18. A lot of fear, eh? Well, being a Nana just means you just give your heart. You follow your heart. You love your heart. You love what's being going. And little Nora, I'm sure, will just love whatever. See, what we see here is, and I'm going to give you the tarot symbols, the devil, the moon, and 22. Being stuck in emotion, being fearful of what may or could happen, and having faith to move forward. Okay, I'm going to get very blunt here, Karen Lee. This little one that's just born only needs to be loved. What does that mean? Love to me often is acceptance of who she is, what she becomes. She'll have, as she develops and moves, she'll have her emotional energy. And a grandmother is the one always that accepts and loves no matter what. That is how one does it. It is knowing you have your faith, you have the awareness, you have the knowledge of what life brings, but you don't think of the yucks that life brings. You think of the strength, because this little one knows she can always come to you and receive love and strength. She will, and acceptance is the other word I was looking for in my head. If she knows that, you will have done your grandmother duty. And it brings a smile to my face, because what an opportunity to just love a little one, no matter what. Oh, there'll be bumps and bruises. There'll be tears. There'll be all sorts of things as the growth moves on. But not your fears, not your anxieties. Get them out of the way. So, treatment. As I move into treatment for Karen Lee, I know Karen Lee's fears, anxieties, frustrations, or anything else that blocks her natural loving heart totally is shifted aside. And the natural love that comes with a grandchild is there to nurture, to love primarily, which is total acceptance, and to guide. Always being willingly, always being wantingly, so that any fears that come up as to what this crazy world is like or what may happen or not happen, we're everyone who comes into this life usually knows, by the way, what they're getting into. Most people, most people, unless they don't look. I have run into people who don't look over the years. It's like, why didn't you look? Didn't you know you're getting into it? No, didn't look. There's reasons why we choose people to be born to. There's reasons to why all these things happen. But to have one person that loves you unconditionally very often just helps so much to move all through that. I know that 22, which is having the faith and having the love and having the connection to source loving energy, can be transplanted, transported, whatever, into the little one. Welcome to the world, Nora. Welcome to the world of being a new Nana. Welcome to the world of knowing that Nora Lynn is there and will have your love, support, and generosity for her life. I give thanks in the knowing of this as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, Leroy. Leroy. Oh, hello, Norma. Just found you today. Love you. I am Leroy. Nice to meet you. I have a lot of turmoil and uncertainty in my life. How can I feel good about life again? And you have, hang on a minute, Leroy. I make notes down here because I don't hold these things in my head like I used to. 12, 6, and a 4. Well, I'm glad you found me. And I'm just going to say I do have 3 different shows I put on every week. A small one on Sundays at 9, a bigger one on Wednesdays at 9, and this one at Monday nights at 7. I think I got the times right, guys. Okay. A little sip of water before I begin. Let's look at these numbers that you've got. I don't know if you're a tarot person. I'm a tarot person. I've been reading tarot for so many years. It's funny. But anyway, 60 years now, I think it is. 12 is the law of acceptance. To accept things as they are, not to imagine they were anything else but what they specifically are. 6 is confusion and uncertain. In other words, your mind gets in there, and what about this, and what about that, and maybe this, and maybe that. And 4 is experience that becomes rigid. So the one thing we concentrate on here by your numbers is the acceptance of what is, learning to accept and then be able to move in a direction of where you're wanting to go and where you're wanting to. I'm just going to alter this a little bit. There we go. Because we have been given a brain and we think, our thinking, according to me, is where everything begins. When we have a thought, we want that thought to project what we want. When we think thoughts that are not projecting what we want, we get coming back what we don't want, basically. If we have confusing thoughts, if we're trying to figure things out, we've got to really be clear. Oh, I'm just doing some contemplation stages. We're not putting them into the vibration of that's what I'm expecting. I feel here that the thinking power for you over the years has lost a lot of belief in your possibilities of what you can create and what you cannot. When we get confused, it's like we lose our connection to what we call the higher power, or I call it the love source. Doesn't really matter the name, but there is an energy that loves us and cares about us. And we can use that to support us. And it will, through our thinking power, bring to us what we require. I'm going to talk a little bit about that towards the end of the show, because I've been doing a lot of thinking this last few days. Not always a great idea because I come up with new thoughts and new awarenesses. Anyway, when we have had life knock us around or not give us what we want, very often we think it's outside things rather than looking at how we think, feel, and respond. There's 3 aspects we look at: how we think, how we feel, and how we're responding. And because your experience doesn't has you feel that you've lost faith, you've lost strength, you've lost purpose, all of those things. And what that's done is created this whole turmoil as to, and I'm so, in a way, I'm so glad that you're here, because that's what we try and do, is to get the turmoil and the uncertainty out of your life. But we also have to assume responsibility that the thinking process is not trained. The thinking process is not thinking what you really want. It's just thinking, more that creates more of this. So we got to go back to the beginning, looking at what we're thinking. And sometimes keeping a diary helps that of your thinking. No, you don't want to do it all day long. You drive yourself crazy. But just sit down and watch the thoughts flow across your mind and write them down without judgment, and begin to see what it is you've been creating for yourself. And you'll be surprised by the thoughts that are there, or the reactions. Remember, because it's how we think, how we respond, etc. It's all in the brain. It's how we think. The thinking sets the pattern. Then the value comes and say, what energy do we put behind those thoughts? Sometimes we have thoughts and then we put a lot of energy behind them, and the universe says, oh, they must really want this. Remember, it doesn't judge. It just loves. It wants to give you whatever you want. That's what most people don't get. And an energy that loves you, that'll give you whatever you want. But they take your messages from, first of all, how you think, and then the energy you put behind those makes it happen faster or slower. Anyway, I will recommend, if you can, watch some of the Wednesday shows. I do a lot more on metaphysics and how that works. So my treatment today for you is going to be for clarity. Okay? Clarity of thought. In other words, you decide what your goals are. I usually work with 3, but I would suggest 1. You want to get clear in thinking, that you're thinking about what you're wanting to create, what you're wanting to do, how you're wanting to be. So it goes like this. I know there is one power, and I know there is one essence. And as I speak my word for Leroy, I know that the energy of love and support is there, even though it's not coming through. I also know that the universe loves us beyond measure and wants the best for us. So we, me, and you, Leroy, must want the best for ourselves. Not to be confused, not to feel, well, this has happened before and it's happening again, because that's what tends to happen. We just keep recreating. I know that you have the strength to begin to look at how your thinking pattern is working, and you can begin to change it. In a minute, I will tell you how to do that. Because I know that you are loved beyond measure. And I know that loving force is there for you and works for you. It works for you now, but it works off your thinking power. And it's the idea of how to get that thinking power working exactly to create what you want. I give thanks in this knowing as I release this by saying, and so it is. How do you change a thought? Do you want to know how I change it? When I have a thought that I don't want, doesn't fit in with my goal plan, and believe me, I have them, I freeze the thought, I evaporate it into nothing, and then I replace the thought with what I want. And this is why goal setting is so important. You must know where you want to go. So when you have a thought that beats up on yourself, or when you have a thought that says, I am not good enough and I can't do it, or life doesn't work for me, or whatever thought it is that lowers your vibration, you freeze it, you evaporate it, and you replace it. The most important thing, you replace it with what you want. And you begin to believe again. I truly thank you, and I trust this will aid and help. But keep listening. There's always something about that goes on. Bless you. Kayla just says, thank you for mine and Angeline's treatments. Great food of thought and understanding in confirming the process needed. Love speaks to us both. Great. And Julie says, thank you. I always appreciate those thank you comments. Karen, hello. Glad you came back. Blessings to everyone this evening. Oh, I don't know if you wrote anything in, but oh, you're down further. I'll get to you, dear. Marion says, good evening, blessings to all. And just a reminder that Marion has the Tibetan bell that she rings while I work here to help me stay on track and be as strong as I can be. So thanks to Marion, and we'll go from there. Karen Lee says, thank you. Okay. Kayla says, Angeline's third number was 22. Does that make a big difference? 3822. I forget what I had. Hang on, it was over here. I put it. Whoops. Going back too many pages. I made 12, but 22 is having faith. I said acceptance, so similar. It works. Yeah. Doesn't make a big difference. No. Karen, my dear. Norma, you missed me. Okay, let me go back and find you, Karen. Keela, Julie. Oh, here you are, sweetie. Thank you for letting me know, because as I said, I met the numbers go way down and I try to find them back up, but life, right? Greetings, Norma. I would love a treatment for embodiment of the essence of being on my right path. Hang on a minute, Karen. I got to write that. Some of you who come regularly know, like Karen and Karen Lee, you're like old friends. So I'm always happy to hear from them and see them. So you wanted 13, 21, and 3, the embodiment of being on the right. I can't see that you're not. Let me just reread that. I would love a treatment for embodiment of the essence of being on my right path. Okay, let's look at this breakdown of this with your numbers. 13 is the death symbol, meaning that you're leaving behind and going through the valley of death, right? But there's newness coming. 21, the world, having balance. And 3, love. I think, we all know, based on doing these weekly, that you're in tremendous transition. Tremendous transition. You have made so many changes. And the embodiment is happening. I think what's missing for you is the feeling of being on the right path. There's your goal. It's there, but you're not there yet. You're still walking this transition. So you want to know for the embodiment of the essence. The embodiment of the essence is nothing ever is stagnant, because if you become stagnant, there's nothing left. There's no life. There's nothing. It's dead, basically. You're not dead, Karen. So we know that you are right on the right path. We know that you're still moving through that death symbol. You've left behind the old. You're moving through the desert. Remember, both Moses and Jesus walked in the desert for 6 weeks. Miracles, though it may be. Sometimes we go through a desert period of time because what we want on the other side, the transition. I would say the embodiment here is for you to accept that you're still in transition and balance that. Just balance that in the awareness, because love is there. Love never leaves. We leave love. We leave the vibration. We put it aside, and because we get in our heads and we worry and we wonder, like, why is this happening like this? Instead of trusting, it's part of the shedding of the old. Remember, in the tarot, the death symbol becomes the sun when it reaches where it's going. When it goes through that desert, comes out as the sun. Look at the sun card. See the vibrancy. See that behind it. Everything is behind, and now we're moving forward, because you're coming into that 21 of the world, of everything being there. So my treatment is we'll see what comes. I know there's one power, and I know that there is one essence. And I know that your strength of purpose of transition into the oneness, into the love force, into the being, I just feel vibrant, is happening. And the impatience of why isn't it here now is just because it needs a little longer. 6 weeks. Well, we know it's been more than 6 weeks that you've been in this transition, but you had to let go of all of that old stuff first before the real transition began. Loving self, letting the love vibration come in and fill every cell of your body. You just stop and take a moment and just give thanks for allowing that love in and being at one with all there is. I know there is a power. I know that, Karen, there's a part of you, and I know that you're on the correct path because the number 3 at the end tells me that. 21 is a 3 as well, by the way. You're a part. It's there. Relax. It's all happening in divine order. And I give thanks for the knowingness. I get tears in my eyes because I know when we transition, when we come into a new awareness, it's strange and it's foreign and it feels like we can't be there. You just got a little bit more to go. Look at the sun symbol, see that, and know that's where you're going, where it's all there. I give thanks in the knowingness of this. I give thanks of knowing that Karen is right where she needs to be and is moving forward with love and understanding and wisdom and power. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Now, I got that one. I did miss you quite a bit. Sorry about that. Menzura says a Trump 2024. Well, we'll wait and see. Make America great again. Well, this is not a political forum, my Menzura. This is a growth forum where people can understand what they're moving for. Leroy says, thank you for my blessing. Very insightful and helpful. I am a medium and I challenge my art. Great. Not a tarot reader. And that's okay. I'm here for the tarot reading. But if you're channeling your art, take a look at what's there. I don't remember everything I say. So I just know that you, what's the word? You're on the path. If you're a medium and you're channeling your art, look at that. What is it telling you? Where are you going with it? Mahinder Guri, love is too much stronger. Not sure what that means. I always got a lot of comments here. Recognize yourself, of course. Karen Merker, so beautiful and insightful. And then we go back to Mahindra Guri, support everything, which one I endeavored to do. Okay, I think that was all that was there. I better leave this down. I thought Karen had Karen Bonnie. Congrats, Karen Lee, on your beautiful granddaughter, Norma. I would love the numbers 1, 2, and 3 for my next week's challenges with upcoming family issues. So this is Karen B. 1, 2, and 3. Wow, right in the beginning part. Yeah, lots of stuff there, isn't there? With upcoming family issues. Karen, if you don't know the tarot, fine, I'll just tell you what it is. But if you do, 1 is the magician, everything is possible. You got all the right tools. 2 is the decisions that you make can be a very emotional symbol, as to do with your emotions. Number 3 is the love vibration. Very basic. 1, everything is possible. You have all the tools you require to do and be exactly. Family issues, you know what to do. 2, you just have to decide your path. In other words, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to take with this? How am I going to make this work? 3 is come with love. Not, what's the word I wanted to say? Not dictatorial, not judgmental, but loving. Often that's the tone of our voice. You notice my voice got a bit strident with you. So maybe what you're trying to do is say, this is the way it is. Do this, and you will find it'll work. It's like loving, pointing out, bringing forward, allowing. Number three, the love vibration. I talk a lot about the love vibration through all the work all of my shows, actually. And the love vibration is always there. But it's like, and we don't live in it 90%, like 100% of the time. I find, I'm just like everybody else. That's I had to learn this stuff because it's very easy to get into judgment, to get into, you want to get a different way, or why aren't they listening, or why don't they hear me, all that, rather than acceptance of the love that is there for each and every one. I'm going to go into treatment for you because I think we just need a gentle hand in this. The fist, no, gentleness. Okay. I know there is one power in the one essence, and as I speak my word for Karen B, I know that she knows, that she is aware, that she has the ability to create and do. The key comes into how to decide how to impart that knowledge, how to impart that awareness, to make the decision which way to go. Do we take a high road? Do we take a low road? I believe that we need to take a loving road. And love has to do with acceptance. One of the hardest things to do is accept people for who and what they are. But that's what love is about. We accept them for how we are. We accept them for who and what and where we are. I give thanks in knowing your generosity of heart, your understanding of all the situation that is going on, that you can speak with gentleness, with love, with kindness, with understanding. And they may not like your resolution. They may not like what you see as the answer. And I'll guarantee you they'll be more open to hear the answer if it's presented with love, gentleness, and understanding, and especially giving to their strengths, their purpose, their awareness, because you understand it all. It's how you present it. I give thanks in knowing that you will be able to present it in a loving, caring way and get results that you really, truly, truly would like. I give thanks as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Hi, John. Blessings and healing energy to you, Norma, and to all here. And the same to you. It's good to hear from you. Maggie G. Wonderful message for Leroy resonates with me. We're not alone in the world, the world we recreate. So thumbs up to you too, my girl. And it was nice to hear from you. We won't, Menzer, I'm not even going to mention your messages because they're not supportive of what we're doing here. Don't know what that's Super Drew 932 really means there. May says, I'm 32 years old. I'm single, don't have education. Maybe you will understand. I understand that this is a growth process, not a political forum. Okay. So if you have a question regarding your growth, understanding spiritual matters, that works. Otherwise, I'm not here to make comment on political issues. I'm here to help heal, understand, and make your life work. And people have been coming back and back and back for a long time, some people, because it's working for them. And that's what we choose to do, not for all the rest. Now, I said I was going to talk a little bit about what I've been thinking on. Let me have a little drink of water. Some of you may have caught some of the shows where I have talked about not only about how thought creates, but how to give the power of the thank you. I've gone through another period of time where my energy has been really low. Everything has been hard. And I began to think, what am I not doing correctly? This is, I needn't be going through this again. I've got it also, so and basically I applied what I apply and work with you guys. And I began to realize I have created many things in my life through the power of the thank you. So I sat down and figured what I wanted to give thanks for. Just one, one little sentence. And I began to join into this the love source that I use, feeling that love. And then I would say thank you for, and a lot of it has to do with my healing, my physical healing. So and throughout the day, I began to say this and be out. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing things again. Like, perfect? No, but I'm doing things. I'm feeling different. I'm feeling better. I have more wanting to get up and doing something. All these things. And I wanted to say, if anybody wants to begin to work with that, and they have, maybe an issue as to how to make that work, because they can't feel the loving force. When I've spent a lot of years getting in touch with that, so is that you can always email me through the website, right? normacowie.com. No political comments, please, because I'm not interested in that this time. And tell me what it is. And let's take a look at maybe the thinking process to make that work, because I have created many things based on that. 1 month, give me 1 month throughout the day saying thank you for whatever that thought is. You don't have to connect them with me, but if you want, I'm here to help. I'm here to do it. I know that it works. I've used it. I've worked with it. And I felt like I was just getting fed up with what was happening to me energetically. And already within 2 days, I'm feeling much better. I'm sleeping more because I need to do that. But it's because we want to get the body back where it needs to be completely. So 1 month. So today is the 5th of August. Okay. So on the 5th of September, we'll check how everyone is doing. If anyone is fine. If you can, give me a quick email or something. If many of you have my email address, or else come through my website and give me an email and say, yeah, I'm going to work on this. Now, it means several times a day, you just take a little stop, connect to the love source, and give thanks for whatever it is you want. And sometimes I find people ask for what they wanted. We had one came earlier here that wasn't quite, it was a bit confusing about that, because that's why I'd like an email so I can correct if you need to change things in the thinking process. Anyway, hey, it's it's going on for 10 to 8. Did well tonight. Thank you. I hope everybody got their number. I got their number. I think we got everything. Oh, hang on. Way down here, after a whole pile of stuff, it says, is it possible to heal borderline personality disorders? It's always possible to heal everything as one is willing to do what needs to be done. So, and also Corey says he's glad he came across us. Sorry, I got caught up in all these political comments, and I just we can't, that's not what I'm here for at all. So, next Monday, Super Drew, 9:32. Put your question again and give me 3 numbers. They really help me because that's something I've used for so many years to get to where it is. I do know people who have had that issue. It's not an easy one to deal with. It is not something that happens overnight. But if you are committed to it and you want to understand it, then certainly it is a way of a path that you can follow. Because this works. There's 3 energies that work with this. Me helping you find direction and doing the prayers or the treatments as we call them. There is the force of the energy that is there that wants to support and help everyone who will let it in. And then there is you who needs to apply it. And I have several on here who have gone that way and has aided and helped, and they have worked at it, and their lives shift. And I know that's true. They come back because of that. Plus, it's always fun to be on here. So anyway, lots of new things, lots of things happening. I've got things perking in my brain, which I'm trying to figure out a few things. See you soon. Actually, Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll be back. You take it, enjoy, have fun. Remember, God loves you. Bye now.